Hello, my name is Shari Caston, and I am the Autism Specialist for Franklin County Public Schools. I'm actually also a board-certified behavior analyst. Today, I am here with Heather Reger, our Special Education Coordinator, and Julie Realmuto, our Cluster Teacher. And today, they would like to talk to you about introducing the ASD Nest Program in Franklin County Public Schools, Part 1, how the ASD Nest Program came to Franklin County Public Schools. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm going to start off this morning talking about what the ASD Nest Program is as it was developed in New York City. The ASD Nest Program is a fully inclusive therapeutic environment, which in this situation is a classroom or a co-taught classroom with a general education teacher and a special education teacher that was developed to support school-aged children with ASD. This program helps to develop both academic skills and social competencies through a social development intervention program, which is led by a trained speech-language pathologist. The students in these classrooms are valued as individuals and learn alongside their general education peers with their two teachers. They learn foundational skills for continued success in schools, and all protocols are evidence-based that are proven to work well with students with ASD, but also are good for all children within the classroom.
So how did the Nest get started? The Nest began from a collaborative team of DOE educators with guidance from NYU and Dorothy Siegel, along with Shirley Cohen of Hunter College in New York City. At the time, they felt there was a need for an inclusive program to support a large number of students that are high functioning with ASD. At the time, there was a lack of resources for these types of students that were higher functioning. They had in mind also to reduce the number of paraprofessionals being used. They felt that for this program to be successful, there needed to be 2 certified teachers providing the support that the students needed.
What are the core features of this program? The core features will specifically speak about each one, but the core features are reduced class size, the co-teaching model, targeted goal areas, including social skills and instructional academic skills, use of intervention strategies, which we will refer to as guideposts, transdisciplinary team approach, pre-service training, ongoing site support, discipline-specific in-service workshops, and a strong homeschool connection.
So what does this mean? A reduced class size in the ASD Nest program begins with 12 students in kindergarten, 4 of the 12 students with ASD. As students move into grades 1 through 3, there are 16 total students in the classroom, 4 of whom also have ASD. As they progress to grades 4 through 5, there are 20 students in the classroom, and again, 4 students with ASD. Okay. Another key component for the ASD Nest program is the co-teaching model. In this co-teaching class, there is 1 special education teacher and 1 general education teacher. Both are certified, and at sometimes in certain classes, both teachers are certified in general and special education. There is also a cluster teacher who is a certified special education teacher. This person divides their time between the ASD Nest classrooms to support children during special subjects and instructional lunches. Also, another component for the cluster teacher is when a teacher in the classroom is out, the cluster teacher fills in as one of the co-teachers in the classroom. And also, there is 1 speech and language pathologist.
Some of the targeted goals that the ASD Nest program focuses on are communication. The students will work with a speech and language pathologist to increase functional language, as well as social development and social understanding through the social development intervention program. They work on self-regulation skills and coping through things like 5-point scales and talking about how big problems are. They work on adaptive behaviors. How can we help with interfering behaviors? Can we wear headphones if things are loud? Or is there a calming spot in the classroom that we can get away to if we're feeling overwhelmed? Is there someplace I can go to wiggle if I'm feeling particularly antsy that morning? And then, of course, selected academic skills based on the individual student and specifically what their IEP says. Guideposts we will touch on later in this presentation, but guideposts at their premise are school-based interventions that are used to create a positive environment within the classroom in hopes that the children will have a positive school experience, and that will carry over outside of the school and increase their outlook for the future.
Transdisciplinary team approach. What this looks like in the ASD Nest program, there's one speech and language pathologist, one occupational therapist, a social worker or guidance counselor to help with the Homeschool Connection, a principal or assistant principal, of course the teachers, and one important part of this team approach is that we meet every week to case conference on students who are in the ASD Nest program and to plan for professional development or other things that may come up in the program. Pre-service training. Pre-service training is conducted prior to the start of school. In the summer, faculty that are new to the ASD Nest program will take classes through Hunter College graduate courses, and those courses touch on intervention approaches and instructional strategies for the ASD Nest classrooms.
There is also ongoing site support. In New York, the program consultants provide technical support through New York University and Hunter College. During the first 2 years, this is regular support, and then it is provided as needed after the first 2 years of the program being established within a school building. There are also administrative meetings with principals regarding administrative matters during the first year, monthly, and then 5 to 6 times per year following the introduction. Discipline-specific in-service workshops are also offered in New York City several times a year for teachers, speech and language pathologists, OT, social workers, school counselors, cluster teachers. Depending on what their discipline is, they will get together and work on specific needs for that specific discipline.
An important part of the ASD Nest program is the Homeschool Connection. Prior to school starting, one of the teachers will visit the child in their home to interact with them socially to see how the child functions. Also, prior to school starting, the child will also visit his or her classroom. They will visit individually to become familiar and comfortable with their new surrounding. There's also two-way communication notebooks that are used. In some instances, if parents do not have email for the Homeschool Connection, this is a way that parents can communicate daily with their school. There are school-based parent group meetings, individual parent meetings if necessary, and also parent workshops that focus on strategies that can be used in the home with children, and also the strategies that are used at the school as well to help that homeschool connection for the child. Admission criteria. These set of criteria are a guide to the admission to the ASD Nest program, but they include overall cognitive functioning within the average range, close to age-appropriate receptive language skills, close to age-appropriate expressive language skills, moderate difficulty in social functioning and relationships, poor self-regulation with moderate challenging behaviors. Meltdowns are common, however, physical aggression is rare, and self-injurious behavior is also very rare. And adaptive skills at close to age-appropriate levels.
Now we're going to talk about the Classroom Guideposts. These are truly the underlying components of the program and what you should see when you walk into the classroom. The ASD Nest program puts a lot of emphasis on prevention strategies. These prevention strategies include things like environmental modifications. You might see curtains on windows to reduce the amount of light. You may see the lights off in the classroom and a lamp instead of the overhead fluorescent lights. There's going to be things that are going to help reduce sound, things on the bottom of desk chairs, and on the bottom of chairs and desks. You're going to see a lot of visual aids, things like daily class schedules, 5-point scales that are going to help children understand their voice volume or how big a problem is. You're going to see clear, positive communication. You're going to see if the teacher is teaching a specific strategy, you're going to see a visual to support that. You're going to see choice making in the classroom. Students are going to be given choices in academic things as well as social things to help them feel like there's some control in the classroom. And you're going to see some priming. Students are going to be prepared for what is coming next and know what their day is going to look like.
Instructional strategies and supports are also listed in the Classroom Guideposts. An important instructional strategy that is listed is the co-teaching models. Co-teaching is an important part of the ASD Nest program. Both teachers are teaching all of the students, not just the students with ASD. Modifying curriculum, modifying tasks include such things as different types of paper that they may need to use, modifying the type of utensil that is used when they're completing work. Also, the content of the activity could be modified to meet the students' needs. Priming is another instructional strategy and support that could be used for students with ASD. Also, this includes reviewing or teaching a new skill prior to the lesson of the day if a student is having a difficult time in that certain area.
Another important guidepost are social supports. Social supports typically start in the social development intervention program, which is led by the speech-language pathologist, but are carried over into the classroom. Every social situation that started in that small group, a teacher from the classroom will attend so that the language can be brought back into the classroom. Some of these social supports look like role-playing specific situations. What does it look like when the bus is noisy? What should we do if my friend doesn't sit next to me at lunch? Experience sharing, labeling moments, looking at something that happened all together and giving it a name. So that you can refer back to it at a later time and the students can kind of together remember what happened during that time. Supported opportunities for teamwork. How can we work together? Pointing out, you guys are working really well together as a team today, making sure they know they can be part of a team. And then as well as social narratives and social stories where students can read about the situation, maybe for a different child or possibly for themselves.
Teaching replacement behavior is also a part of the Classroom Guideposts. Some of the strategies that they mention in the guideposts include video modeling, videoing the student, showing their positive experiences, also the HELP program, taking a break, using a break card, and also the functional communication, teaching the student how to ask for help or express their wants and needs.
A final guidepost is positive reinforcement system. It's really important that the entire classroom have a positive reinforcement system set up, but it is also individualized for the students with ASD. It can look like anything from a high five to a behavior chart that has a sticker reinforcement on it or a smiley face. But it is really important to catch these students being good and to point out the positive behavior that is happening in the classroom with all students.
So what does it look like today in New York City? In the 2019-2020 school year, the ASD Nest Program in New York City serves more than 1,500 students with ASD. They are in over 300 fully inclusive Nest classrooms, and they are in 54 schools from grades K through 12.
How did Franklin County Public Schools get an ASD Nest program? Franklin County Public Schools participated in Cohort 2 of the Autism Services Improvement Grant through VCU in the year 2014-15. Dr. Stacy Carr and Cindy Petoniak of VCU visited the ASD Nest program in 2015 in New York City. And then the ASD Nest program was presented to Franklin County Public Schools Assistant Superintendent. She visited New York City and the Nest program in New York City, and then Burnt Chimney Elementary had 3 students with autism that were rising from 2nd to 3rd grade that year. A team from Burnt Chimney then traveled to New York City to meet and train with Dorothy Siegel, visited a Nest classroom in New York City in East Harlem. And then in Franklin County Public Schools began its journey to a full inclusion Nest program for our students with autism in the 3rd grade in the 2015-16 school year.
So that was the end of our Part 1 presentation. In Part 2, we'll see you next time when we share with you the implementation of the ASD Nest program in Franklin County Public Schools. And we really encourage and look forward to any questions you might have. See you next time.